Hey guys, Carl from Purple Misplaced. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the co-op real-time spelling game, Illiterati, from designers Rob Chu, Jon Kang, and Gary Alaka, and publisher Gap Closer Games. As I said, this is a real-time spelling game. I tend to be a big fan of spelling style games and word games in general, but the real-time thing sort of intrigues me and scares me at the same time. But not only that, it's a co-op fight against the game, fulfilling conditions, fighting off the baddies kind of game. So I'm very intrigued to see how this plays. Disclaimer, I was given a review copy of this game for this video, but as always, I'll do my best to give my own honest opinion on the game. With that said, let's head down to the table to see how the solo mode of this game plays, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. To set up a solo game of Illiterati, begin by placing out all of the cards on the table. First, we're going to take the red and blue book cards, giving them a shuffle, and placing them out on the table, like this. We'll then take the burn tracker and set that there as well. And then finally take the villain deck, give that a shuffle, and place that out on the table like this. Also, to help with gameplay, I will use one of these library cards. This is a sort of player aid. On one side, it's going to show me the order that we're going to play through in any single round. And the other side is going to give me sort of an explanation of all of the different symbols on all of the cards. So I'm going to set this down here like that, and I'll refer to that in this video as needed. I'm then also going to create the letter supply. All of my letters are currently placed in this red bag. I'm going to set that down here. I also have this black bag. This is going to be sort of my discard bag. As we discard letters, they will go into this bag, and at any point, if this bag is empty, we'll then revert to using this as our bag, and that becomes the discard bag. So I'm just going to set this off to the side for right now. And then to start play, we will deal one of these cards, one of these red books, as our starting card. I'm going to explain what that is in just a minute. Let me just place this down right here, and I'll explain how the game works before I explain to you what this is. Then finally, to finish setting up, we need to start placing out letters. To start the game, we're going to start with 5 letters in our hand, and we're going to start with 3 letters in what is called the library. I will place out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters for me, like this. And then 3 more letters into the library. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Also, we need to decide which difficulty level we'll be playing in the game. For this playthrough, I will be playing difficulty level hard, or the hard difficulty level, which means that on each round, I'll show you in just a minute, I will be drawing 10 letter tiles because I am playing solo. It means I'm going to allow to have 2 burned letters, which I'll explain what that means in a minute. I'm going to set this card down here just so we can refer to it later. 4 books need to be completed per player, just me. And then at the end of the game, I do need to clear the library in order to win. So let me set this down. But also, because I am playing on the hard difficulty level, it also means that we're going to start with one of our burn tracker places already burnt. So I'm going to draw 1 tile, and I will place that letter on the first slot of the burn tracker. The only other thing we do need for this game is this timer, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for you to see the sand ticking on the timer. So for this video, I'm actually going to just use a timer on my phone that I will put on screen as needed while we play, like this. So Illiterati is going to play out over a series of rounds with the goal of completing 2 red books and 2 blue books, and then finally completing 1 final challenge. And again, because I'm playing on hard, I will have to clear the entire library as part of that final challenge. But let me explain how a round works so that all makes a little bit more sense. So every round is going to follow the order on this card. So first, we're going to start the word building phase. I'm going to draw 10 letters, and then I'm going to use those letters plus the letters that I already have, plus, if I want to, the letters in the library, to spell any word that I can spell. And I'm going to have 3 minutes to do that. At the end of 3 minutes, we're going to go into the book binding phase. And we're going to do a couple of things there. First, any letter that's not in a word, the unused letters, will get placed into the library. And because we're playing on the hard difficulty level, remembering my library limit is only 2. So any letter that's in the library means any letter that wasn't in a word gets placed into the library. Any letter above 2 will need to get discarded. And the way that's going to happen is I'm going to turn them all face down, shuffle them up, and discard letters until there are only 2 left. And from those discarded letters, one of those letters will get placed onto the burn tracker. Sorry, that's not quite true. The letters in the library will be flipped down and shuffled. One of them will be removed at random onto the burn tracker. Then I get to flip them all face up and choose which of the other letters I discard and get to keep 2 that I choose to keep. Also during this phase, if I have more than 8 words, I'm also going to need to discard letters. I can only have a max of 8 words on any given round. And if I discard any words above 8, I will also burn 1 letter from those discarded words into the burn tracker. And why is that important? Because if this ever fills up and I place a tile in this 4th slot, I instantly lose the game. Then, after I've dealt with removing letters, I will then check the words that I've spelled. And if any of those words satisfy the condition of my card, I will complete that card. And if I haven't done 4 cards yet, I will draw a card of the other color for future rounds. Now, it's worth mentioning that we're not required to do this on any given round. So it's worth sometimes playing several rounds where I'm only spelling regular words, because remembering every round we add more tiles to our available pool of tiles, and that will give me more option to complete these challenges. So we just have to complete these challenges whenever we can, but at the end of every round, after we've built our words, after I've checked the letters to discard, after I've checked for words I've completed, you'll see we then move into what's called the Illiterati attack phase. And I'm going to turn over the top card of this, and these sort of bad guys, the villains in the game, are going to do something to me to cause me some kind of harm. And if the card that I've drawn is a villain that had previously been drawn already, all of the cards of that villain will be activated again. So we really want to avoid that villain coming out as much as possible, which means that we'd like to do this as fast as possible to avoid getting attacked in future rounds. After I've bound 2 red books and 2 blue books, we will move into the final chapter. And the final chapter is going to, instead of looking at this left side, be looking at the right side, and I will get to choose either red or blue for the final chapter. But the only difference is, in the final chapter, because I'm playing on hard, cannot have any letters left in the library. I need to completely empty everything from the library on that final chapter to win. And again, I don't have to complete the final chapter on the first round. I try it as long as I haven't been killed by the burn tracker, or as long as this deck hasn't run out of cards. Because if this fills up or this goes away, we do lose the game. So I can try as many times as I want, but in order to win, I need to satisfy this condition, and I will have had to have used every tile out on the table. So we'll see how that works as we get into it. But let me show you this first card, because that will explain what we have to do first. So here we've got the book Combat and Serenity, and I'm looking at this left side here, which says I need 8+ tiles that have words that are weapons or military terms. And I need to use at least 3 blue symbols, and you'll see here on there, the blue symbols are swords. They represent conflict. So this 8+ means I need to have a total of 8 or more tiles in any words that I've spelled. And for them to count for this, they have to be weapon or military terms. So I need weapons and military terms that total at least 8 tiles and have at least 3 sword tiles. Well, you can see on the board right now, I've got 1 sword tile right here. But otherwise, I don't have any. These black ones have no markings. These are green, red, and yellow. This one right here is a wild tile. Any black tile you see that has no letter on it is a wild letter. But also, this one in particular is also a wild symbol. So this could count as a sword as well. One thing I did forget to mention, and I will mention it here because it's important now that we're talking about this card. Any word that we spell that's counted for this category, when I clear this card, all of those letters will be discarded. I won't add anything to the burn tracker, but it means I don't have those letters available to me in future rounds. So I hope that makes sense. Let me go ahead and get into the first round. You'll see how that plays out. And hopefully if you have any questions, they will get clearer as we move. So first things first, we're going to draw 10 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let me straighten up all those letters and then we will turn on the timer and get started. All right, 3-minute timer on the board and go. All right, I need 3 weapons. Let's see what I've got. T-R-O-O-P, that's troop. That works. And then I've got, I don't have any U for a gun. I need to use that I. Well, we could do that actually. Yeah, let's do this. I've got N-A-V-Y, that's Navy. No, it's not, that's Navy. Sword, sword, sword. Root means like to root somebody out. That's a military term. Navy here. Now let me start spelling other words so we don't lose letters. A-G-A-I-N. Again. And, oh, perfect. L-I-N-E spells line. So we've got, again, root, line, and Navy, and I will argue that Navy is absolutely military, and rooting out somebody is definitely a military term. So we will stop there. There's plenty of time left in that first round. And we're going to check our words. I don't have any letters that are not in words to put in a library, so I don't need to do that. I don't have more than 8 words, so that's fine. Root and Navy, there's 8 letters, 1, 2, 3 swords. I will say that that satisfies weapons in military terms. These letters all get discarded into that black bag, which means I have accomplished this card here. I need to draw a blue card next. We've got the big white whale, Moby Dick, I guess. This side now has a new symbol. And this triple marking like that, if we check over here, tells me that that means that's one word that has that thing. So I need to make one 8 or more letter word that has 3 swords in it. And I just got rid of most of my swords, but I need to make a really long word that has swords in it to catch that big white whale. And let's just look at the flavor text while we're here. Whale, 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 what do we have here? Sneered Captain Baja as he looked into the eyes of his blubbery arch nemesis. All right, so that's that. These stay as is for right now, but we have to draw our first villain card. So we've got Persephone, Violet, and Cerberus, the terrible twosome. Cerberus ate your homework. It says each player discards their shortest word, or whoever has the longest word must discard it. So, well, I'm the only player. It means I'm getting rid of either my shortest or longest word. And I'd like to keep that sword because we need it for this. So I'm getting rid of this word, which hurts because I have very few letters now. So we may have to take a turn or two to bring our letters back up again. All right, so then we're going to draw 10 more tiles. I'm going to place those out, and then I will pull out that timer again. Make sure that's 10. Yes, it is. Resetting my timer. And go. Now, if I could do that, that would be great. One 8-letter word. Lone. I need an L and 2 S's. But right now, let's just get some stuff done and then we can play around with it. So, feline. Wow, I don't have a whole lot of letters this time. H-O-D-G-E, Hodge. I'm allowed to keep 2 letters in the library. So if I could make it 10, hold on. F-E-N-D, fend. Hodge, fend, line, TJ is left over. Yeah, we're gonna stop there. So I got 3 words. TJ go into my library, that's safe. Hodge, fend, and line, like that. We don't need to do anything. We're not done this one. We flip over the next bad guy, and we've got Fiora Ironclad the Welder, like a moth to the flame. Draw a letter, discard all copies of that letter, regardless of color, and then discard the drawn letter. All right, so then I'm going to take 1 letter out of the bag. Is a K. I don't have any Ks, so that K goes away. Not a bad problem. All right, so let's get these words out of the way and draw 10 new tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turning these all over like this. Before we get started, restarting the timer, and go. All right, then, if I can make it L-E-S-S, can I make a word that makes something? I don't know. Let's see. I don't know what I'm doing with that cube because I don't have any use. Oh, here we go. Toneless. There's an 8-letter word that has 3 purples. Let's stick with that and see what else we can make. Here I've got a hedge. F-E-N-D. V-I-N-E. Problem here, we can't have a 2-letter word. Have to have at least 3 letters in a word. And jid is not a word. Okay. Oh, here we go. Din is a word, fed is a word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, J and Q go there. We've got our round done. Here's my 8-letter word. Well, hold on. First off, 2 letters in the library, not a problem. Then, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, not more than 8. Toneless fits the 8-letter word with at least 3 swords. That gets discarded. This blue card is done. I need to draw another red card. Let me get these guys out of the way because we will be drawing another villain. But first, we've got red. More miserables instead of less, get it? Ha ha ha. Says, 1 night more, Cosette muttered to the sound of her snoring husband. Another night, another misery. This man who knows not his crime and will surely snore again sometime. 1 night more. All right, so I've got to do at least 8 letters. Doesn't need to be 1 word, as many words as I want. There have to be emotions and feelings using these rain clouds, which represent tragedy. But first, the villain. Uh-oh, we got another Fiora Ironclad, which says at the end of the upcoming round, if no one binds a book, everyone must discard 3 letters. Well, okay, I don't know that I'm doing this turn, but we'll see what happens. If I don't, I'm discarding letters. But also, I have to do again the last thing, draw a letter and discard all of those letters. I drew a U. There's no U's out there, which is sad because I want that U for the cube, but it's gone now. All right, so we reset for the next round. Drawing 10 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, if we don't bind any books this time, then I'm going to need to discard 3 letters. Ooh, I got an X. Ooh, there's a blank. Cool. That could be my U if I need it to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Reset my timer for you guys to watch. All right. Emotions and feelings. 8 letters. Go. Emotions. Well, I can feel strange. Means I don't have an R. Quiet's not an emotion. Okay, but let me make some words first. Happy, sad. Okay, let's see. Fed, vine. You know what? Let me just survive this round, and then we'll see what I can do. Mess. Q-U-O. I don't have a... Okay, I'm going to do this. Equine is a word. Oxen is a word. Miss is a word. Vine is a word. Did is a word, and that F goes there. Now, I still have 1 minute and 20 seconds if I can think about emotions and feelings. I don't like that S is upside down. Emotions and feelings. I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel cold, I feel hot, I feel... No, I think we're going to stop there. So we do have to discard 3 letters. Well, first off, before we get to that, no, it says at the end of the round. This is the end of the round. We've got to discard 3 letters. That's a problem because, oh no, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do this F, F, and this D, because if I get rid of another letter now, that's not a word, and that goes away. So those go away. These DI go in the library. We don't have 8 words. We're good. So we move back into, oops, sorry, villain turn. We've got a new guy, Bastille Malvado, the Corsair. Dead men spell no tales. Anyone who has a 4-letter word must discard 2 letters from any word. I do have some 4-letter words, so I have to discard 2 letters from any word. I'm going to get rid of my QU. No, I'm not. I'm going to get rid of the X and the N from oxen. All right, then we draw 10 letters and get into the next round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. And then we start our timer again. Because now I see 8 letters. I can feel I don't have a thing. I don't have an A. That's a problem. I need A or L. Emotions and feelings. Something can feel deep, for sure. And I think this counts. Something can definitely feel smooth. But I need one more green in there. Ah, sweet. If I swap an E for another E that's deep and smooth, or it's feelings to me, and I can do P-I-N-E-D, pined for somebody. That's the end of the round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. I'm good. 8 letters, 3 green. Emotions and feelings. Something can feel smooth, and something can feel deep, like a moving experience is very deep. So we do that. Finishes this card off like that. We need to take a blue card next, which is going to be the Crimson Vowel. She was the reddest vowel they had ever seen, which caused all the other plain consonants in the alphabet village to punctuate her. All right, I need A+ letters. Doesn't need to be the same word. All vowels must be read. Well, I've only got 1, maybe 2. In the meantime, we need to draw another villain, and we're repeating. Persephone, Violet, Cerberus, release the hound. Each player discards 1 word beginning with a vowel, or 1 word beginning with a consonant. And then also I have to discard the shortest word or longest word. So I'm getting rid of 2 words, and I want to make sure I have red, so this one stays. Let's get rid of vine because I don't like that V. That's my shortest word. No. Or my consonant. So yeah, I can get rid of any 2 words. Miss or pined. Yeah, let's get rid of pined. Drawing 10 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, okay. I like this. I need to make words with at least 8 letters that use only red vowels. Well, I think we're in good shape right now for that. Timer back on the screen for 3 minutes and go. Well, I've got fire right here. Or I've got fair right there, and I've got Q-U-I-T, quit. That can be red. That is red. Those are all red. That counts. Now I just got to make everything else work. C-H. C-H-E-E-R is cheer. That N and C is my leftover. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and leftover stop. Those are my library. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. Not too much. Library's 2, that's safe. All vowels must be hearts. 8 letters or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. U, I, A, E are all hearts. Those go away. This is done. Then I get to choose red or blue for my final word. Blue tends to be long words. Red tends to be colorful words. I'm going to take red for my final stop. We're looking at of rice and ramen. Good. Foods. We got a 12 plus letters that have foods, and I have to use 5 of the same color. And it says, oh boy, George, I sure would like a bowl of ramen, and then I will love it forever and ever. Cool. All right, so of rice and ramen, foods. We have to draw another bad guy. Minerva, Fantine, the headmistress, she's new. Each player must discard 2 letters with color. And I will set her down here just so we have some space for my letters. I have to discard 2 letters with color. And I want to make sure I have 5 of the same color. I've got 4 yellows, which is nice. So let's get rid of my red E and a green E. Okay. No, let me get rid of the green N instead. Because I don't want to break up extra words if I can avoid it. We draw 10 letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Turning over the letters. Ooh, that's a wild any color, which could be yellow. I've got another A, yellow. I need to use 5 of the same color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellows. I could do this. If I can make 12 letters worth of food this round, we are in business. Resetting my timer. And then off we go. C-H-H-C-H-E-E. S-E, cheese. That's 6 letters. R-A. R-A-M-E-N is ramen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 12. But I do have a yellow, 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 yellow. That's 5 yellow. So if I can just make anything that's food, that's great. Like B-U. No, bird is not a food. Let's see. R-I-C-E. Hold on. Let me see if I can do something else. Yeah, sure. That works. Wait, hold on. B-R-E-A. Let's just use A to keep the yellow in there. Bread, rice, and cheese. But remembering, this is my final thing, so I need to use all of the stuff I have here. I've got way too many letters. Okay. I can make a gum. But I don't like any of those things. Huh? Well, we can do aim. Huh. Well, let's just do this. Gums, I'm going to lose some stuff here. We're going to call that time. I still have 26 seconds left, 23 seconds. That's time. Unfortunately, what's going to happen here is these 4 letters are going to get flipped. I'm going to mix those up. One of those is going to get burned. And then I get to choose. I don't want 2 eyes. Get rid of none of those eyes. Then we're going to flip over a new villain. All right. Minerva Fantine again. I always land on your feet. Whoever has the most letters with color must discard 1 letter from each of their words. That's not good. All right. Then, that's really not good. And I also have to discard 2 letters with color. That means I'm basically going to have to redo everything. But 2 letters with color can go here. Then I have to discard 1 letter from each of my words. And I don't want to get rid of any of the colors, the letter colors. So that E can go away. Sorry, any of the yellow colors. E can go away. I'll put that D away. I'll put that C away. And I will get rid of the G. And then we draw 10 more tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flipping them over. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Reset my timer. And go. Well, I definitely have bread still. I definitely have rice still. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 3 more letters of something. Okay, B-E-E-T-S, beets. Bread, rice, and beets. That works for my challenge. Now I gotta use all of these letters. And I don't think that's gonna happen. Yum. Oh, hold on. Sauce. I gotta get rid of all of these letters. I don't need this S on beets. If that helps me make something else. H-A-I-R. Hair. Say some. What am I supposed to do with this extra U? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. M-U-S-T. Must. Beer. My timer disappeared, but it's still at 1 minute. What am I gonna do with this U? No, we gotta go back. Beets. Hair. Some. Yeah, we're gonna have one more round because I don't have anything to do with that U. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're fine. That just means we get hit one more time. For Ironclad, for the next round, the library limit is 0. Well, guess what? It needs to be anyway for winning. So I have to win on the next round. At the end of the next round, if no one binds a book, discard 3 letters. Well, I have to. And then it says draw a letter and discard copies of that letter, which is an O. Surprisingly, I don't have any O's. So we draw 10 more letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, then, flipping over the letters, let's see what we got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And this is sort of my all or nothing round. I have to win the game here. Let's see what we can do. Bring out the timer. Set to 3 minutes and go. I need to get rid of these U's. Oh, I see a fudge. F-U-D-G-E. And what do I do with... we could get a hum. we got Ruse, and we got a Doug, and we got a Flaw. F-L-A-W. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9 words. Flaws. Harry. But this A doesn't go anywhere. Oh, wait. G-A-U-D-Y. Gaudy. Check my spelling, but I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bread sauce beet finishes my 12 food with 5 yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. That's 10, 14 letters. Flaws, hair, ruse, gaudy, hum. I apologize if gaudy is spelled incorrectly, but I believe that's correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're safe. I stopped there. 0 library, which is fine. It says if I don't bind a book, I must discard letters. I am binding my book. Then I don't need to do anything because we've got 12 plus letters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 letters. We've got at least 5 of the same color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. Those are all foods, bread, sauce, and beets. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. That's my final card. We have successfully beaten the game on hard. So while we're here, let's take a look at the components. The components, everything you see is out on the table. The villains, you've seen all but this guy right here, Professor Absalom Faust, I believe. Yes. Let me just show you these character portraits up close because I do really, really love the artwork in this game. Just great, great, poppy, colorful, very cartoony illustrations. I love the character artwork in this game. This burn tracker is cool, recessed card, basically. Dual layer board that these fit perfectly into. Really, really, really nice. I love the look of the books. Really easy to understand. Lots of fun sort of pun titles on other stories, on other, books, obviously, with some fun flavor text down there that does connect into. These tiles, I don't know if it comes across on camera, but these tiles are actually wooden. They're kind of like a very lightweight, almost like balsa wood kind of wood, which is really, really cool to me. I'm very, very happy because in a game like this, I expect that sort of plastic bakelite, plastic, tiles, and these are wood, and I would much prefer to have wooden components. The weight of these is nice, as I said. They're super light, but they're very sort of clinky tiles. They feel nice in the bag when you're sort of digging through the bag, pulling out the tiles. The colors are very poppy. All of the symbols are very easy to distinguish. Just feels really good, very tactile experience. These bags are gorgeous, sort of a velvety kind of bag with very nice stitched in logos on both of them. Great, great, great components. Again, this is the deluxe version of the game, so I can't guarantee what the retail is going to look like in comparison to this, but I do really, really love the way everything looks and feels in this game. The last thing is the timer. It's a nice, colorful timer, red, sand, black timer, sort of a jewel looking kind of ends on it. Again, I don't use this so much just because it's hard to understand generally how much time you have left. Plus, I very rarely use the 3 minutes, so if I use this, it means that I need to wait for the rest of the sand to go to the bottom. Even if I'm not still using it, I can't start the next round until it's sort of fully reset. So I do tend to use a regular timer instead of that, but it is a very nice timer. It looks really cool, and I like that it's in the game because it's nice to have everything you need to play the game in the box. Last thing I do want to show you is the insert. The insert for this game, at least in the deluxe version of the game, is this. Everything fits very nicely inside the box. All of the cards stack up like this, very nicely into the box. Red cards, blue cards, and so on, all stack up and fit very nicely here in this slot like that. Same thing, burn tracker goes right on top. I also like that the game comes with this sort of plastic sleeve that locks everything in place there so nothing gets shaken or falls out as you're moving the game around. In fact, you can even take that burn tracker and fit it inside there to keep it separate from the cards if you'd like to. Also, I did get sleeves with the game. I haven't sleeved my cards, but I just want to show you, this is all of the sleeves you need for all of the cards that are in this game. And even with those sleeves in there, this will still close, which shows me that sleeved cards will still fit in that well, which is a big plus. I'm not a big sleever, but I know a lot of people are, so it's always nice to see that there. The timer goes right in there, and realistically, these bags full of tiles fall right into that spot right there. I should also note, I don't know if this is true in every copy, but at least in a deluxe copy, I get these really cool bookmarks with each of the villains included as well. And then this little promo here for another one of their games. I don't have that game, but it's really cool to see the crossover character from this game being playable in another one of their games. So really, really nice insert. Last thing, just to show you how this works, because it's pretty cool. With the deluxe version at least, this actually slides into the side of the box like this, and it stands up and looks really cool as this sort of book on your shelf. I do notice that it says volume 1 here. That might just be fun because it's a book, but I'm curious if there is a volume 2 on the way. Just really, really nice packaging for this game. That's basically it for the components and sort of insert and boxing. Meet me back up top and I'll let you know what I think about the game itself. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. As I mentioned up top, I tend to be a really big fan of word games, and I love throwing letters together to spell out words to fulfill certain goals and conditions. But as I said also, I was a little bit scared by the whole real-time thing, because spelling with pressure of time is a completely different sort of beast. With that said, I have to say I absolutely adore this game. This is a ton of fun. Spelling these words, not just spelling words, but every round you're getting letters, you're adding letters, and you've got to put all those letters together to make words with certain caveats, right? Every round you're playing, you've got a certain goal or a certain book that has a goal that you're trying to aim for. And it might be spelling one really long word, or it might just be using lots of tiles to spell as many words as you need to in order to match certain categories. And those certain categories are going to be things like food and military, as you saw in this video. But also then, sometimes you're forced to use a certain number of the same colored letters, because some of the letters are sort of genre letters that have specific colors, and those colors are going to matter for a lot of these game goals that you have to accomplish in order to win the game. And if that was it, that would still be a lot of fun and a lot of challenge, but that's not even close to it, right? First off, it's time. 3 minutes, you're given these tiles, spell as many words as you can, go. But then they start throwing some more sort of wrenches into the works. And the first one is that you can never have more than 8 words in a round, which means if you just start spelling a bunch of little tiny little words, yes, you're going to end up using all your letters, but yes, you're also going to have a lot of extra words. And if you have extra words, then you're burning yourself at the end of the round. And if you do that a certain number of times, only 2 successfully, 3 to end the game in the hard mode that I was playing, 4 if you're playing on the easiest level of the game. So you really have to be trying your hardest to make as few words, means as long as words as possible, while you're playing the game in that 3-minute time period. And then the balance is cool, because if you try and aim specifically for the goal every time and only for the goal every time, that 3-minute timer could get really, really, really stressful. But you saw in my playthrough, what often tends to work is I'll sort of build 1 word or 2 words that work towards the goal while spelling a bunch of other words. And then when I get more letters the next round, then I sort of rearrange things to try and find another word that matches the goal to finish the goal. And then there are less letters to deal with to do other things with. So there's this really cool sort of balance of when do I focus on the goal and when do I simply focus on creating words well enough so that I can continue on into the next round without losing, without being eliminated moving forward. But then you have to be careful, because if you're delaying things too much, every round I'm getting 10 letters, right? And the more letters I have, the more likely it is I will have more than 8 words at the end of a round. But not only that, anytime I can't make a word, all of those extra letters get thrown into the library. And the library has a capacity. In the easy game, it's 3. In the hard game you just watched me play, it was only 2. So if I have a bunch of letters left over, that's also going to burn me and cause problems. So I really have to be super efficient, making as long a word as possible with each letter or each set of letters that I'm using to make the words, focusing on scoring words specifically for the goal in mind. And then there's another level on top of that, because at the end of every round, I'm drawing a villain card. And that villain card is going to punish me in some way. And if I draw a villain that's the same as a villain I've drawn before, that's going to punish me multiple times in some way. The nice thing, though, is, yes, the villains are messing things up because they are destroying words, which means I can't keep using the same word every round because sometimes those words get destroyed and I don't have all the letters anymore, so I got to find out a new word to use the same letters in a different way. Which is fun, right? Because that adds to the challenge the next round, because now I have to be creative again, and it's not simply just carrying the words over and making new words with the new letters every round. But also, if you're clever, there are often letters that are difficult to use in your words, or you've got extra letters that you don't really care about. So when the villain attacks you, if you're smart, then often you can eliminate the letters that you're not interested in using so that the next round you don't get hurt again a second time. The same thing is true with when you have too many letters left in your library. You can make smart decisions to throw away letters that you don't need at all so that the following round you don't get hit with that same problem. All this to say, the way that this all levels on top of each other, the 3-minute timer to make words, the restriction for the number of words, the inability to leave letters unused, and then ultimately at the end of the game, in the final round, the goal gets doubly hard, or 1.5 hard, right? Plus, if you're playing on hard or the next level up, which I haven't even tried yet, you're going to have to clear the library completely, so you can't have any letters left over, and it just really boosts the challenge again at the end, and I just have a ton of fun with this game. Every time I play, I'm loving it. Now, I will say that I've played this game, I don't remember, but a handful of times in the easy mode, and then now a handful of times on the hard mode, and I don't think that I've ever lost this game yet. The easy mode is easy. If you are a fan of spelling games or word games like I am, it's very, very quick or very, very soon that you're going to be moving on to the hard difficulty level, and even then it provides a nice challenge. The puzzle is great, but even still, I've never lost yet. So it's very likely I will move on to the even more difficult level at some point, but I'm not sure if I need to, because I don't really care if I lose this game, because the puzzle is there, and the action of spelling these words and working to figure out the words and working to put these letters together to make words in time, to fit goals, to fit word lengths, and so on, really is an interesting puzzle, even if I win every single time. And occasionally, if I want a super challenge, I can kick it up to the next level. Now, that said, I've only played this game solo. In the multiplayer game, the way that this works is each person at the table has their own goal, and they're all working at the same time with their own letters to do that kind of mixing and matching, except that the library is a shared resource for everybody. So that does add some more difficulty, because if one person's winning and the other people are not, that's when things start getting even more crazy and more interesting, because also the final challenge in the multiplayer game, everybody needs to accomplish that final challenge at the same time together, and that sort of lining up of working together but not together as a team, but actually individually on your own thing, but timing it such that everything works together, I think adds even one more wrinkle to the game, and I look forward to trying this out multiplayer. But as it stands, just as a solo game on its own, if you like spelling games or word games that give you cool, interesting twists, that make you think about multiple things and how they interact at the same time, I very strongly recommend this game, and I am really, really happy that I've added it to my collection and I've had a chance to play this one, because I continue to have a whole lot of fun with this game. If you like spelling and word games that have a nice little thematic twist to them, that does have this sort of holding off bad stuff kind of vibe to it, and you don't mind yourself a little bit of real time, I would strongly recommend checking this game out. I hope that this video was helpful for you. As always, if it was, I ask that you like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.